Hey guys, Siemanko. I hope you're all doing amazing today. I'm Mysticle and I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. We've actually got a little bit of a shorter video ahead of us today, and just before we jump into this one, can I just say how amazing it is that we've been able to get 4 videos out in a row? In case you haven't seen the other 3, links will be down below so that you can catch up. As usual, you're going to have chapters down below to skip to any specific part of this video that you are most interested in, and with that being said, let's get right into it. So, let's get the big one out of the way first. Because Meta's next headset, Project Phoenix, may have just leaked inside Qualcomm's own promotional material. This was shown off by many people on X and on Reddit, as well as in my comment section. So, let me tell you a little bit more. When Qualcomm dropped its announcement video for the Snapdragon Reality Elite chip just yesterday, data mining regular Luna spotted something interesting tucked inside one of the promotional shots. And I'm not sure who actually found this first, whether it was Luna, whether it was Reddit. It was just posted on so many different sites at the same time. Honestly, it gets me confused. But point being, something was found. A guy sitting outside wearing a sleek, wraparound, sunglasses-style headset with a cable running down. It immediately got reposted to Reddit, and the comparison being drawn is to Meta's in-development headset codenamed Phoenix. Now, why does a random guy in sunglasses in a chip commercial matter? Because the silhouette lines up disturbingly well with everything we've previously seen leaked about Phoenix. So let's do a quick refresher, since it's been a while since we've talked about this one in depth. Project Phoenix is Meta's tethered XR headset, the one that offloads its compute and battery to a separate puck you'd need in your pocket or clipped somewhere on you. Similar in spirit to what Apple does with Vision Pro's battery pack, just taking it a step further. Last December, Business Insider got its hands on internal memos showing Meta pushed the release window back from the second half of this year all the way up to the first half of 2027. Reality Labs Foundation VP Maher Saba framed the delay as wanting more time to nail the experience rather than tacking on extra features. And a separate memo from Metaverse leads Gabriel Aoul and Ryan Cairns talked about giving the team breathing room given how much core UX is changing. The same leak also mentioned Phoenix is leaning hard into virtual screens for productivity and entertainment, plus other seated mixed reality and virtual reality use cases, basically positioning it less as a gaming headset and more as your personal floating monitor setup. Internally, one of the names floating for it has apparently been the Quest Air, though obviously nothing's locked in yet. This is definitely quite an interesting one, looks-wise, and it makes sense considering what they're hoping to use this one for. So you have basically 2 sides on the internet right now. One saying it looks fantastic and they'd definitely be interested, and one being very upset at its form factor and the fact that it probably means the FOV will not be as wide as anything else. Then back in February, Upload VR's David Heaney covered something juicier. Data mining duo Luna and Simulia managed to dig a hilariously low-resolution render of Phoenix straight out of Quest firmware, along with debug strings for eye tracking calibration that they actually got running on a Quest Pro. Even at that potato quality, you can clearly make out a compact headset using glasses-style nosepads instead of the usual virtual reality facepad, and the strings referenced adjusting those nosepads for comfort, combined with earlier data mining finds around automatic IPD adjustment and iris unlock, both of which need eye tracking to work. It's pretty safe to assume Phoenix is going to have the same gaze and pinch interaction that the Apple Vision Pro has. Weight-wise, the original 2024 information report that first revealed this thing back when it was still called Puffin, positioned it at under 110 grams, which checks out with a tethered puck design. There were even rumors at that time from XR insider Brad Lynch about one candidate display option using small 0.9-inch micro OLED panels, similar in scale to what the Big Screen Beyond uses, which would mean proper OLED contrast and color if Meta goes that route, and would be fantastic considering the last time they used OLED panels, not micro OLED, OLED panels, was in the Oculus Quest, the very first one, and I still miss it. So, when you put that wraparound sunglasses silhouette from Qualcomm's chip video next to all that, yeah, it's not hard to see why people immediately jumped at Phoenix. Now, do I actually think that Qualcomm intentionally leaked Meta's brand new headset in their own marketing? I don't know. I feel like it would be almost too good to be true. Then again, we are coming up very close to Meta Connect, so it could definitely be an intentional leak, which a lot of people speculate Meta has done many times before. But then you have the other side, where it's far more likely that this is either a placeholder mockup or some unrelated partner device that just so happens to look similar, since loads of XR companies are converging on that same wraparound sunglasses shape right now. But as I mentioned, the timing is definitely funny regardless, especially since we already know Qualcomm's new chip is built to sit inside exactly this kind of tethered compute puck form factor. So definitely let me know what you think down below. Do you think that this is potentially Project Phoenix? And if it is, would you be interested? And speaking of Phoenix, Luna was also digging through this week's Horizon Mobile update and found something else worth mentioning. It looks like Meta is working on letting you pair prescription lenses with Phoenix, and another in-development device internally referred to as Loma directly from your phone. On top of that, separate strings out of the latest Horizon OS 2.5 PTC suggest Meta is also patching up Ion Lock so it properly recognizes you while wearing prescription lens inserts. Small detail, but it tells you Meta is actively polishing and working on this device right now, as we speak, to have it ready for whatever comes next, which lines up very nicely with everything we just went over. Now, moving away from Meta for a second, Canon also had a presence at AWE this week. Yes, that Canon. And they brought 3 separate things to show off. First up is what they're calling their concept model of a pocket-sized, high-image quality MR device, which is exactly what it sounds like. A small, tethered handheld viewer that you hold up to your face rather than strapped to your head. Canon says it delivers high-definition visuals and plays nicely with existing XR applications. Though they're not sharing specs yet, and it's explicitly not for sale. They are apparently looking for partners to bring it to market though, so don't write this off as a tech demo that disappears forever. These handheld viewers are honestly pretty common in Japan's enterprise space already, so it's interesting seeing Canon's US division show this off specifically, which might hint at wider availability down the line. Second, Canon showed off a high-efficiency glass waveguide for AR glasses, built in both micro LED and micro OLED configurations. These specs point to a 30-degree field of view, an optical coupling efficiency above 15,000 nits per lumen, and over 85% transmittance. That FOV number is pretty narrow compared to what we usually talk about on this channel, which tells me Canon's optimizing this for lightweight smart glasses rather than anything fully immersive, kind of in the same lane as the lighter end of the AR glasses market. And third, Canon is actually getting ready to launch Emerald Collaborator, their new XR collaboration software aimed squarely at manufacturing designers. The pitch is that you don't need 3D graphics expertise to manipulate spatial data inside it. And since it's OpenXR compliant, teams can share sessions across different supported headsets and remote locations. A free trial is supposedly launching in early July in case you want to poke around it yourself. Now for some very quick extras before we wrap up, since I think you guys might appreciate this. It's an app called Space Override that just dropped, and in case you're rocking a Quest Pro, Galaxy XR, or really any slam-tracked headset for PCVR, this might be worth grabbing. It's a fork of the existing OpenVR Space Calibrator, except instead of trying to calibrate your headset's slam tracking against your Lighthouse setup, it just straight up disables the slam tracking entirely and overrides it with a rigid tracker, ideally a Vive Tracker 3.0, mounted to the headset. This is actually something we did in the past, and it was a massive trek. So being able to have a software that does this automatically now sounds brilliant, and we're probably gonna play around with it. According to early users, this is a massive improvement over constant recalibration and misaligned play spaces that have plagued PCVR setups using these kinds of headsets. And the best part, as usual, it's open source. So in case you want to dig into it yourself and find out how it works, the link to its GitHub page is going to be down below. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this shorter episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. And if you liked it, please do you like. If disliked it, I guess this button works too. But let me know why down in the comment section below. If you're not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below, where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. You are what helps me continue making these videos and keep the channel going. And thank you in case you're liking, subscribing, and all of that. So, as usual, if you want to be notified of future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.